And it was terrific. I mean, it was a terrific experience. I loved it.
What was the name of the place?
It's called the Chain Theater. And
Never heard
it's
of it.
off Broadway.
Okay.
You know, it's one of the hundreds of New York theaters that had a terrific artistic director, and he was brilliant and helped us stage Boogie Stomp, which is basically an evening of American piano music. And
Who are you stomping with now? Because it's always been two pianos. Is it just yourself, or do you have another artist?
I have a partner, Arthur. Well, I have a bunch of partners, but I started out with Bob Seeley, the world's greatest boogie and stride piano player. And then I toured Russia once with Martin Schmidt, who's right there with Seeley. And then I'm working with Arthur Miazza, who is also totally breathtaking. And so I've been really lucky finding these guys. They're the absolute cream of the crop and fun to work with. So Arthur and I did New York, and we're doing Ann Arbor over New Year's Eve. We're doing 3 shows at the Performance Network Theater, which is the oldest theater in Ann Arbor, right downtown. And then we're doing a 8-camera shoot out here because I'm making another movie as a follow-up to Boogie Stomp, which is winning. I was just in Seattle at the Gig Harbor Film Festival where we won Audience Choice Best Feature Documentary. And that's happening everywhere I go with that. It's fun. So, but I'm dying to make the next one.
Yeah.
And
what's the next part of the story?
Oh, well, I've got, it's not a secret, but it's in progress. Sort of the next step, in a way, with me and Arthur, the younger guy, and carrying on our somewhat of a crusade to bring back America's forgotten music. But it isn't really, that was sort of the theme of the first movie, but what we're really doing is not bringing back America's forgotten music. We're bringing America's great piano literature into the modern age and playing it like it would be played if Pete Johnson, Albert Hammons, and Meade Lux Lewis were still around. They wouldn't be playing what they played 50 years ago. They'd be playing what we're doing now. And it's obvious when you see it. Like we do contemporary stuff in that style. The way I tell the story is in the 50s, Boogie-woogie and R&B and all the different names it was called sort of disappeared in terms of its brand. But one branch of it became the roots of modern jazz, and it became academic and less accessible, lost its groove really, although they pay lip service to you have to be in the groove. They aren't. And the other branch became American pop music, rock and roll. Chuck Berry said rock and roll's nothing but boogie-woogie with guitars, which it is, exactly. And that remained danceable and accessible and popular. But what Arthur and I are doing is right down the middle of those two branches. We're playing piano without the guitars and without the cerebral stuff, although it is very cerebral. It's just accessible. It's like, if it doesn't make you want to get out of your seat and dance, then we aren't doing it right type music.
So people get up. They have seats, but they get up.
Yeah, they either get up or they really want to.
Mm-hmm. You had a big "and" earlier when you were talking about you were going to film the second movie, and then I accidentally cut you off. You had an "and." You had an "and." We're going to do an 8-camera shoot here, and...
Oh, well, we're trying... Oh, yeah, it was and finish up. The one bottleneck is that Arthur and I don't have a CD together that represents what's happening now. And so we're finishing that up. We're about halfway done with it. And we've done a couple of sessions at a reader piano with 2 9-foot Blutners, and we did a session in Seattle when I was out there. And we're accumulating enough tracks for an album. But we're going to start releasing them one at a time probably after the first year. But these days, you can't release just an audio. You got to have a video with it. So that's why we're doing the shoot. So we're going to piece that together. That's what I mean about multitasking. It's like, now I'm doing 6 different things here. All I want to do is play the piano. You know, I just want to hit a key and have a note come out. And what am I doing? You know, I got software, apps, you know, buttons, knobs, sliders. I just want to hit a key and have a note come out. Or hit several keys.
And have
a lot of notes come out. But no, I gotta have 8 cameras, and you know, I have to worry about HD or 4K or are they all set in picture frame or 16 by 9, or you know, I have to speak a whole different language, which I'd rather learn Russian. Yupanyumai Barushkia. It's easier.
So we talked about getting older, and some people simplify their lives, maybe become more conservative, but yet you seem to be getting more kooky.
As if I wasn't kooky enough.
What drives you? Like, I mean,
I had a friend, an older friend, a dear couple that were sort of like a second set of parents to me. Kay Hopping, a terrific artist. And she once said to me, Bob, nothing you ever do will simplify your life. She's pretty right on the money with that.
But with all these, I mean, you talked about all these complications and changes, and you know, I mean, I know in my lifetime, you know, I talked about this analog board that you have here, and now we have, you know, technology that's, you know, fits in your hand. The 20 things that you used to have to buy is now in your one phone. You know, you have to buy a calculator and a camera.
But you have to upgrade all those things every 5 minutes.
So with these changes, like, what keeps you going, even dealing with all these added changes in order to get that out and get people to hear you, see you?
Yeah, the best way I can put it is I haven't said what I have to say yet. You know, it's like I discovered this, and I don't feel bad about it, but I have a sort of a little bit of regret. I was on Tim Barron's show a year or 2 ago, and he said, do you have any regrets about anything? And it's never crossed my mind. I couldn't, you know, I do interviews all the time, and I've always got 10 answers for every question. And I went, boy, I never thought about that. And then after I left, and I was driving home, I thought, yeah, you know, the one regret I have is I didn't start making movies 20 or 30 years ago, because I love it. I love doing it. And, you know, I did Boogie Stomp, which I love doing, and which is, it's getting really positive feedback every place I show it, and that feels good. But I feel like the training wheels are off now, and I'm ready to make a couple more. I got a couple more in me. But you never know what's going to happen to them. I mean, I had Lou Adler, who's one of the great producers of all time, watch the movie and say this should get an Academy Award, but how do you get from Okemos to Hollywood, you know, even if you have something that's... I had another film producer say all movies are fungible, doesn't matter how good or bad they are to the world. And it's sort of true. It's what you were talking about with everyone has a camera, so you're taking great pictures and these people don't even know how to focus it, but it's all fungible to the outside world. They can't tell the difference.
Right.
So that's just an aside. I mean, I still want to make the movies I want to make, whether they get to Hollywood or they don't, because I love doing it and I feel really good about the end result.
So you're making these movies, doing this touring. What is it about? What is that driving force? Is it what is it? I'm not gonna...
The driving force is sort of what I just said, saying what I have to say. I got all these ideas, and
Is these new ideas or these?
It's a new idea, but yeah, they're all new ideas. It's a paradox, and yeah, I feel really comfortable in the medium of filmmaking, and I really feel like it's challenging enough to be interesting to me, and I feel like I can solve any problem. You know, narrative. To me, it all starts with the writing. It's got to be. It's got to be a good piece of writing before you make a movie. Now, I'm a little bit maybe off center with that. Although there's, you know, everyone has their own opinion on how to make movies, but I'm from the old Gore Vidal school. It starts with the writing. But I have a lot of friends who make movies who don't even think about the writing. They've accumulated tons of footage, and I can't work. My mind doesn't work that way, but it works for some people, I guess.
So, these things that you have to say, this I guess in my mind, to put it in a formula, is it a conversation that you're having with an audience? Is this?
Absolutely. Well, you know, I did it on. My approach to it is, you know, I've been on stage all my life, since I was like 16 or 14 or whatever, and the one thing, like the first primary objective is entertaining people, not bore them, not put them to sleep. And so I like with Boogie Stomp, I tried to make it entertaining to anybody, any age. You know, once you sit down, you're like entertained, no matter what you know about film, no matter what you know about the history of music.